Year 5 and Year 6, Miss Stewart here. On Friday, you heard the chapter The Desert, and in the story, the house had moved to the desert. And we found out that Marinka was really unhappy, and she said to Baba that she didn't want to be a guardian, and they had a party, and at the party at the end, there was a guest still left, and that's where we've left the story. So today's chapter is called Nina. Let's find out what happens today. Her name is Nina, and 5 minutes into our conversation, I don't want her to leave either. She's smaller than me, but we're both 12. Her hair is straight and black. Mine is curly and red, but we both have a small gap between our front teeth. We watch the shooting stars and tell each other stories we've heard about them. Although I don't tell Nina the story about them being dead souls, I don't want to talk about death or why Nina is here at all. Nina has heard that shooting stars are celestial ghosts dragging their hooves when they run across the sky. Most of Nina's stories involve animals. We talk for hours, joining up stars into pictures and remembering tales of constellations named after tortoises, giraffes, scorpions and snakes. But finally the stars fade away and the sky blushes pink. Nina raises and takes a few steps away from the porch. Wait, where are you going? I reach for her arm, but of course my hand passes right through it. She stops anyway and stares out at the endless sand, eyebrows crinkled. I'm not sure, she whispered. I don't know where I am. There's nothing out there. I wave my hand at the desert. Stay here with me. My mind is thrumming with ideas. How can she hide in my room at night when the gate is open? Then we can spend time together in the day, talking, playing games, and when the house moves on, we can explore new landscapes together. I need to... Come and see my lamb, I say quickly. You have a lamb? He's an orphan. I'm hand-rearing him. I pick up the basket of daisies I dropped earlier and beckon Nina around to Benji's shelter on the back porch. I moved him there while I was cleaning my room yesterday, and he fell asleep snuggled into one of the old shawls. He wakes up when he hears us and squeezes his head through the gap near the water butt, eager for a stroke and some milk. He's so cute, Nina smiles as she tickles Benji under the chin, and he tries to lick her fingers. We used to have a camel, but my father sold him a few years ago. We moved to a new white house on the edge of the desert. Nina's smile widens as memories of her life flood back. There was a well, and my father dug little channels to send the water over the ground. He planted figs, tiny orange trees. He planted oleanders because my mother loved the flower so much. Her face darkens with sorrow. My mother, she got ill first, then my sisters, then me. Her eyes narrow as she tries to remember. Why am I here? I drape my shawl around her, like I've seen Baba do to the dead who don't want to pass through the gate. It's strange how my shawl can comfort her, but I can't touch her with my hands. Baba says it's something to do with the house. It gives the dead energy for their journey, so they can almost seem real. They end up being lifelike in some way, but not in others, and it varies between souls, and even from moment to moment, like how during the guiding the dead can eat and drink, even though their bodies aren't really here, and then they float weightlessly to the stars. I finish washing the dishes and stack them in the basket to dry. Would you like some kasha? I ask. Porridge, I correct, when Nina looks at me in confusion. Footsteps echo through the house. Baba is awake, humming a happy tune. Shh! My fingers rush to my lips as the rest of my body freezes. Stay here with Benji. I'll bring some out for you, I whisper. The door creaks so loudly. I wonder if the house knows about Nina is trying to give her away. I push it open quickly, my hands hot with annoyance. Every time I have a chance at friendship, the house tries to ruin it. You're up early, Baba kisses my cheeks. I'm checking on the lamb. I look away, hoping she doesn't notice the blood rushing to my face. Can I eat breakfast with him outside? It's such a lovely morning. Of course, Baba smiles. It's nice to see you've cheered up a bit since yesterday. I nod guiltily and set about making a bottle for Benji and kasha for me and Nina. I stir up a huge pan full of porridge, grate chocolate over the top, and sneak an extra spoon into my pocket. Nina and I eat with Benji on the back porch. I'm so glad I built the shelter for him in one of the house's deaf spots. If the house does know about Nina, at least it can't hear us talking. Jack joins us, and as he sucks cashew from my fingers like he used to do when he was a chick, I tell Nina how I found and raised him. Do you have any brothers or sisters, she asks. No, I shake my head. I just live here with my grandmother. My parents died when I was a baby. I have 5 sisters, Nina groans. There's never any peace and quiet. I'd like that. It's far too quiet around here. I bite my lip as I hear Baba still humming inside the house. Nina stares into the distance and she seems to fade slightly. I don't know how to get home to my sisters. Our house moves, I jump in brightly. Perhaps it can take you home. Really? Nina's eyebrows crinkle. Maybe. I turn to Jack, flushing with the lie. I don't think we'll stay here long, a week or 2 at most. Then the house will take us somewhere new, the jungle or the mountains or the seaside. You've seen the ocean? Her eyes light up. Of course. What's it like? She leans forward eagerly. It's like the desert in some ways, endless water instead of endless sand. The waves move like dunes, only faster. Salty spray stings your face like sand in the wind. But it must be different too. Yes, it's cool and refreshing and wet, Nina suggests. Yes, it's very wet, I laugh. Can you make your house go there next? I'd love to see the ocean. I wish I could. Maybe Nina would forget about wanting to go home if I showed to the ocean. The house decides where it goes, I admitted reluctantly, but it often goes to the coast. I rush in as her face falls. Not long after, it settled on a tiny island. The ocean was all around as far as you could see. It changed colour 100 times a day depending on the sky and the light. Waves washed onto the shore, knocking pebbles up and down the beach. The dead. I stop myself. The dead? She asks. I was going to say how the dead walked right across the surface of the ocean, but I think of other memories to cover my tracks. Lots of dead jellyfish wash up one day, all transparent and squidgy. Jack ate one and got sick. Jack ruffles his feathers and turns away. Silly bird, Nina laughs. He's lovely. You're so lucky to have a pet. He's not really a pet. He can take care of himself now. When he had to learn to fly, I thought he would go away, but he always comes back, and I'm glad he does. Do you think he'll stay with you forever now? She asks. I hope so. I look at Jack and a lump forms in my throat. Nothing is forever. Everything moves on. The living, the dead, the house. I push through the thoughts, the back of my mind, and stand up. Would you like to check the fence with me? Nina nods. I lead her to the far corner, out of sight of the house and its windows. I scan the perimeter to check none of the bones had fallen. I tell Nina the fence is a tradition, like I told Benjamin. She looks at the skulls and shivers. None of our customs are as strange as this. For a moment I see the fence and the house through Nina's eyes. Empty skulls balanced on bleached bones. Warped wooden walls leading to the twisted roof with a crooked chimney. I think about Nina's description of her house, clean and white and surrounded by the colours and scents of beautiful flowers. I see how my house must seem strange to her, frightening even. I turn my back on the house and clamber over the fence. Come on, I beckon to Nina, let's go for a walk. As my feet hit the ground on the other side of the fence, a rush of excitement runs through me. Right now I don't care about disobeying Baba. I don't even care about the fact I might get caught. All I can think about is the joy of escaping, even if it will only be for a little while. I kick off my shoes and let the sand flow between my toes as we walk away from the house. A huge golden sun sits low on the horizon, warming the still air. Nina stops and crouches next to the circular table pit, no bigger than my palm. Year 5 and 6, I'm really sorry, I'm just going to have to let my cat out because she's meowing in the background. I don't know if you can hear her. I'll come back to the story in just a minute. Hi there, sorry about that. The cat was meowing. I don't know if you could hear her. Anyway, let's get back to the story. I kick off my shoes and let the sand flow between my toes. As we walk away from the house, a huge golden sun sits low on the horizon, warming the still air. Nina stops and crouches next to a small circular pit no bigger than my palm. It's an antlion trap. She points at the centre. Buried in there is an antlion, an insect with huge spiky jaws. It waits, hidden at the bottom, for an ant to come along, and the ant just falls into the pit. I wonder why the ant wouldn't walk around it. It slips down the steep sides, and the antlion throws sand at it. The ant struggles to escape, but it can't. Nina's voice lowers dramatically and her fingers mime the struggle of the ant. It slides further, pulled down by the sand, and eventually it reaches the sand lion's jaws. Nina's hand slaps shut, and she laughs. Do you want to watch it for a while? See if an ant comes along? We sit on the sand staring at the trap. If an ant comes, shall we save it, at the last minute, I ask. That's what my sister used to do. Nina smiles. You can if you want, but then the antlion won't get its meal. The antlion is really a larva. And if it eats enough, it changes into a beautiful dragonfly creature with 4 speckled wings and eyes that glow silver when it flies at dusk. I'm not sure what to do now. I don't want to stop the antlion becoming a beautiful dragonfly, but I don't want to watch an ant die either. I'm relieved when no ants come along. The sun climbs higher in the sky and the waves of heat shimmer on the horizon. It's too hot for ants now. They would fry on this sand before they even got to the antlion trap. My heart sinks as I realise I'm going to have to go back to the house for some shade. I sneak Nina into my bedroom while the house sleeps and Bagger naps in front of the empty fireplace. A cool draft flows into the room as the chimney breast rises and falls, gently breathing in air. The house might be old and strange, but at least it takes care of Baba. I shut my door softly so I don't wake either of them. The window is open, heat flooding in. Jack sits on the sill, looking out across the desert, eyes half closed and wings slightly raised in hope of catching a breeze. Nina and I sit on the floor below him, and I show her how to play checkers, and she teaches me a game where you have to guess what the other is thinking. I'm not very good at it, and I doze off in the heat while trying to think of an orange flower she has in mind. When I wake, the air is soft and cool. Nina is staring out the window. The skull candles are already lit, throwing yellow light and dark shadows across the empty sand. I hear Baba singing and preparing food for the dead. A weight falls across my chest and I struggle to breathe. Nina shouldn't have gone through the gate if she doesn't want to. I shouldn't have to lose another friend. The house is trying to control both of our lives. It's not fair. I draw my curtains to block Nina's view of the beckoning skulls, give her a book to read, and make her promise not to leave my room under any circumstance. But as I go to help Bagger prepare for the guiding, I can't shake an image from my mind of the gate opening and pulling Nina inside. Like an ant being pulled into the antlion trap, the thought of losing her makes my blood run cold, and I don't know how to stop it from happening, just like I don't know how to control my own destiny. And that is the end of that chapter. See you soon, Year 5 and 6. Take care, bye.
Firstly, it was so